Welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode, and today we're going to be doing some upgrades to our Blood Magic altar, which means I'm going to need a few things. First of all, I need to get rid of all that miscellaneous loot, and we want we want most of it to be just dumped into a storage drawer system. So we're going to need some drawers, and we'll make a few of those. We want probably the basic drawer thing for this. We probably want high capacity more than anything else. How many of those have we got? We're going to be out of chests, so what can we make for chests? We want wooden tough tool rod. That's the most ideal thing here. Have we got enough there? Yep, let's just go make some tool rods up, and that should let us make more chests, and in turn get that around. Tough tool rod, make it in here maybe. Yep, and let's just get more of you. In fact, I'm probably going to want those. That's fine for now. Let's just make some chests. Not a trap chest, just a regular one, thanks. There we go. And 6 of them. Okay, so that should let us make at least a few drawers to get started. We're going to need some more of the wood, but that's fine. We've got some more of that. Okay, 8 drawers. I'll keep making more off camera, but we're going to use both of those. We're going to take some advanced logistical transporter and head over to our mob farm, and then we're going to be upgrading the Blood Magic altar, of course, as well. So first of all, we're just going to want to basically connect up some transporter sort of care pipe, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's full. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put our drawer controller on the end of that and then just build the drawers up and around it so that the drawer controller can go there. I'm going to build outwards a little bit so that I can have a little bit of room to place this, but you know the idea. I'm going to do that off camera. Now, that's not all we need. I'm going to want a drawer key, because if I connect that up and then turn it on, it's going to fill up every one of those boxes with whatever it gets encountered with first. So a drawer key will certainly help there. In fact, I've already added it here. So let's just see. Do I have any of those? Well, not quite, but most of them are easy to make. That's that easy to make. And then the upgrade template, we probably want one of the drawers that I no longer have because I just used them all. More wood, maybe. Yep. Do we have enough for one more drawer? Just one would be fine. Yes. Okay. And then I can then make the upgrade template, which means I can then get the drawer key. And we're going to lock down all of the drawers. Basically, we're not going to want to have any of them be anything other than what I tell them to be. So I'm just going to get close enough to that and shift right click. There we go. They're all locked. And then we'll decide on what we actually want. So if we have a look in the chest, and this is going to be a bit busy, we've got things like bones. I've got inferior essence, string, arrows, rotten flesh. Let's just put those in to get started. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more going on. But these are one of the more common drops. So let's get that. So arrows, string. Means I don't need flax anymore. Inferior essence. Rotten flesh, and was there anything else? No. Okay, so then I just need to connect this up with the configurator, which we'll get there, and then that should be everything. So if I just grab that onto that, need to get closer. There we go. Pull, and it's all going to try and insert into the drawer controller. Now, that's going to be not as successful as you might think. It will start taking this stuff out, but you can see there's an awful lot of other stuff in here that we just need to get rid of at certain points. There's gunpowder, for instance. The heads of the various things is very useful to have. Obviously, things like ender pearls we definitely want, but it's very rare that the ender pearls actually get generated. The mobs generally teleport out, and we don't have like an anchor for them just yet. So, we'll just put the gunpowder in and just get rid of that as well. So we just want all the common drops here. I don't think I actually want any of the what are the drops I don't want? I don't really want any of the armor drops. We could have them, but I think I should probably just craft some kind of trash thing that once this is empty, it will try and fit stuff in, and if it can't, then hey, it's just going to trash them basically. And the spider eyes there we can put in the last slot. I think that's the last common drop that I actually want to get in here. Yep, so all that's good. Now, with that in mind, we also want to then upgrade in our altar. We want to get to the next tier of blood orb. So to do that, we need Victus V crystal. To get one of those, you make some batter. The easiest way to do this, get some batter in your kitchen area, and that's just flour made out of wheat, and then just an egg and the usual cooking utensils, and you get the batter. You can put that into your crucible, and we can pull Victor Spaddock out with quartz slivers. So if we put this in here, it will start crafting up, and then we want to make sure I have my dagger of sacrifice handy, because it's going to need a fair amount of blood to get this going. And off it goes. There we go. So Apprentice Blood Orb, shift right click, and we're on to the next tier, which means we can do a whole bunch of other stuff. In particular, what that does enable us to do is Runes of Sacrifice. Now, around this altar, let me just fill this back up. It's going to be full. There are these blank runes. They're fine as far as they go, but you can get better versions, basically that increase the amount of blood you get from the previous, from the occupants here when they're sacrificed. Normally you'd want the self-sacrifice ones if you were using yourself as the source of blood, but because we're using other things, we don't need to do that, which means we can replace these with sacrifice runes. Now, not necessarily something we need to do immediately, but it will come in very much useful. However, we can go from here and get something more immediate because we can now upgrade our altar, and we can upgrade this blood orb yet again. Before I do that, however, let's just go to our quests and see if there's anything in here. Yep, anything we can actually redeem and get some benefit from. There's our Apprentice Blood Orb. Yep. Detect. Submit. Come on. There we go. What do we get for these quests? We got a Chem Thrower turret. I'm not sure I'm going to use that, but we got 2 of them if we wanted it. And we also got a cashew sapling. Again, not sure I'm going to use that. I think I also want to craft another ME drive. I think I'm running out of space, but we'll do that as we get through to it. Next thing up, I probably want to craft some thaumium. And thaumium I need some iron for. And we need about 8 iron. And I'm also going to want some iron ore, and this is probably 8 iron ore as well. 8. Okay, and then just some iron. I just want to get 9 iron. Okay, you may wonder what all this is for. We'll need to go across to our Thorncraft area to basically show you this. So let me just get everything nice and safe for this. We want that, this, and this, and this. Okay, oops, I need that. And we're going to go across the Thorncraft area. Because we're going to make some thaumium, and that needs a few ingredients to get going. Oh, step up here. We need iron and iron. Okay, and then we just want to right-click. We didn't want to right-click. I wanted thaumium. Did I get the recipe wrong? Thaumium. Thaumium is crucible. I basically want to throw in iron once it has Praecantatio and Terra. And it doesn't have Praecantatio. What did I throw in here that I shouldn't have? Probably lots at this point. Praecantatio. I thought it was ores. No, maybe not. Praecantatio. So let's just go for thaumium. And before too much of this decays, hopefully, Praecantatio, and we can just reverse this and get up to, I think it was around 5 I was looking for. What can we get for around 5? Oh, it's mana steel. Yeah, I needed to process it, that's why. Home, I need to get some iron. Some more iron, given that I've just used up a lot of it. That more than I wanted anyway, and let's just get that going. Yep, and let's just get that iron and convert it over. There we go. Now we should be able to go to the Thorncraft area, dump this in. And I'm gonna need more Terra, aren't I? Which means I need to get a little bit more ore. And that's quite basically cheap at this particular point. It's 5 for each of these, so maybe 10 more will do. Okay. And let's try this again. So that's 30 now. So if I just drop in 2 of those, 8 of these, that should leave me with 40. Yes, it is. And if I just right click on this now, or just dump it in, I should start getting thaumium. There we go. And then we can just use the rest, the quartz slivers, wherever they are. Here they are. Just to start pulling out crystals of everything else. And that, unfortunately, needs more water. And I'll finish up that off camera. So I crafted one extra. We're actually going to need a thorium block to get the next tier of blood orbs, so we may as well make that now, which is exactly why I did it. And then we're going to want to, well, I think I want to clean up my inventory. I'm going to have lots and lots of miscellaneous stuff I want to carry around with me. How are we doing on, I wonder, the ender stuff? We have 7 ender pearls. We're probably going to get more as that mob farm continues. You just end up with just like endermen everywhere. So we have an ender chest already. How about an ender pouch? That would be a good thing to have. And that just needs some bits and pieces, of which we're going to need some ardite and some hardened leather. I should be able to make the hardened leather. Yep. And the ardite we should have already around, I would have thought. Maybe not in ingot form, but we can just quickly deal with that. That should, oh, in fact, may need 2. I'm not sure if it audibles. I don't think it does. Unless I have some, hello, Donor. Donor who is just hiding somewhere. Hello, Enderman. Anywhere? No, guess he's just gone hiding. So where was I? Ah, yes, ardite. Shouldn't get distracted with this kind of thing. And just dump that in there. We'll get a couple of ardite ingots out. And then make ourselves an ender pouch. The ender pouch we're going to link to an ender chest, so I'm going to want a little bit of orange dye. That's my usual colour for tools and stuff like that, so dye. Okay, so rose red. We should have some of this, so that's fine. And yellow. We've only got 1 yellow. That's not going to make enough orange dye. I'll just use orange, white or something like that. That should be good enough. And let's just put our ender chest down. Doesn't really much matter where. I'm just going to put it over here. And let's just dye it. So it's not on the white channel, because the white channel is just the default. We don't exactly want to do that. So we'll put our thorium block in. All of our various different stuff that we don't use that often. Antidote charms. I can probably put that in my baubles inventory. Yeah, let's just put that there. And I don't really need the weak blood orb either, or the apprentice blood orb too often. So we'll just dump those in. And our inventory is looking a lot cleaner now. We can't throw the time in a bottle in there. That has to be kept here, basically. But otherwise, we're done. So there's our ardite ingot. And now we should be able to make the ender pouch. Now, I normally have 2 of these. I normally have one for basically input into the entire system, and the other one for tools, and we'll make that later. But shift right click with this and it changes channels, which means I can access that inventory from everywhere, so it doesn't matter if I die. So that's all really kind of handy, and definitely handy to have all kinds of stuff in there. Cool. Inventory is really quite clean now, which I approve of a great deal. There we go. Okay, so onward with upgrading to the tier 3 altar. Tier 3s, we're going to need a bunch of different stuff. One is that we're going to need some stone, so we're going to have some stone crafting. That's iron, not stone, but let's just switch those out. The stone I'm just going to craft into stone bricks. That's the common sort of block used. In fact, yeah, let me just actually make a lot of stone bricks. That'll do. We're going to want blank runes on a lot of them. I'm going to say 20 or so. We may already have some around. So blank rune, do we have any? No. But we do have some of these blank slates, so that's good. Blank runes are just the blank slates with any tier of blood orb and some stone of any kind, really. So we're going to probably make some more stone. Let's get that done. Stone. Do I have any in reserve? Oh, 5. I've just used it all to make stone bricks. Fine. I'll just go and get some more. In fact, what we can probably do is set this to smelt. Furnace mode. Yep, there we go. That's so much easier once you have a material stonework factory. And yeah, it's just generating them really, really quickly. So yes, we want lots of, or we'll probably convert most of these, if not all of these blank slates over, because they'll convert over to end up with 13 or so, unless we get more from this. Let's go and actually put them together. Do I have my blood orb around? Even though I've just put it away. There we go. Blank slates, and the rest. Okay, so we're clearly going to need to make more blank slates, but we've got 10 blank runes to get started. You can get more runes from this by going from blank slates into the next tier, the reinforced tier, and then you can combine each one of these in the reinforced tier will essentially be one of the blood runes, the sacrifice runes, I should say. So you can get more efficiency that way if you don't want to do it this way. Either way, I'm going to need some more blank runes, so I'll go and craft some more back at the Tower of Sacrifice. And here we are, I've crafted some more of these blank slates. We are going to want to set up a reinforced slate, so I'm just going to delete this filter, and I'm going to add a new one in a second, just by crafting one reinforced. So let's just put that in there, and that should pop up in a second. Shouldn't take it very long at all. And then we'll add a filter back in here, and then transfer, basically, I want 9 total reinforced slates. So let's keep on filling our pool of blood, and that should convert over any time now, really. And with that filter set up, I now have, there they are, all the 9 reinforced slates, and the rest of that can just wait for a second. We're going to use those to convert over into the blood runes, and we're also going to convert the rest into blank runes, so I have them available. And yeah, what I probably want to do while I'm here as well is just basically get lots of extra XP. Not that I planned for that or anything, but yeah, we're going to use this to basically level up our shuriken. Now, the shuriken has 3 modifiers, so if we go back to our home, we should be able to get a few stacks of nether quartz and basically upgrade our shuriken even further. So nether quartz, we have 500 of that. That's good. Let me just dump a lot of this stuff in here. We don't need a lot of that. And I'm probably going to need to remove that out of the system again in a minute, but that's fine for now. So I'm going to get, let's say, 4 stacks of it. I'm going to go over to our little tool forge over here, and then we're just going to upgrade it again. So we have 3 modifiers. I'm going to use them all for quartz, which is sharpness. We're going to start on 7.15 attack, and we're going to get it up to, well, as high towards 10 as we can. Will I actually take 2 or 3 or 4 of this? Maybe not, but there's 1. So that's on sharper, or sharp now, I imagine. Sharper, okay. I'll take the second one. And that is now on sharpest. Okay. Are you already on that? In fact, if I just take these out for a second. Give me back control. What are you on right now? You're on sharper. Okay, and I've got 1 modifier remaining. Good. I'll use the last remaining modifier for this, and you'll see it's now on sharpest. So our attack damage is 10.8, which is getting pretty good at this particular point, and down it's maxed out there. So that is going to do pretty well for pretty much one-shotting anything you come across that isn't a boss. And with that in mind, we can now upgrade our mob farm. Well, not our mob farm, but our blood altar even further, I think. We've got some more blank runes, and I went and made some more here. The other rune types, the blood runes, you need to make them at night. If I remember rightly, why does it need to make them at night again? I need to remember that. Let me just put these down first while I think about it. Oh, that's why. Yes, you need rock crystal swords, which means I need rock crystals, and they, well, first of all, you need to find the rock crystals, which is available at night, but second of all, the rock crystal swords are made in the starlight altar, and you need quite a lot of starlight, which means you need to do it at night time. But here we have everything we need, or should be pretty much able to upgrade now. If we just pop this down here, 2 blocks like that, well, 3 in the corners. You don't need that bottom block necessarily, but you know, if I need to put this on something, so we may as well. And then the last one is just basically a block of glowstone on the tops of each of these. The next one out is like a bloodstone version, but this one is going to be pretty fine. Just get you there. Oh, please don't fill my inventory with horrible amounts of stuff. 3 and 4. Okay, so that should now be a tier 3 altar. So if we just grab our dagger of sacrifice, and we're going to want a thormium block out of my ender pouch here, and that's going to take, I think, a lot. Blood orb. Let's take a look. Blood orbs are going to take 25,000 life points, but we don't need that all at once. We can, as long as we can keep the blood supply up to this altar, we should just be able to put this in. There we go, and ooh, that's going to take it pretty fast. I need to keep on clicking on this as fast as possible and hope that it's able to supply it fast as possible. If not, we're definitely going to need those sacrifice runes. So I'm not sure that even with capacity runes, and we can't even craft them yet, I don't think. We're not going to have enough. So I'm going to craft some ender tanks. Haven't used them yet in this series, but they're pretty normal. They're just like ender chests. They just link two different fluid inventories together. And because I'm starting to get more ender pearls from random endermen spawning around, and we're also going to want some pipe of some kind. Basic mechanical pipe should do the job. We're also nearly at nighttime, where we can use this recipe, 2 rock crystals and a stick, to make the next tier, those basically the sacrifice runes. So let's head over to our mob farm, and where we can normally pull stuff straight out of the main tank, like this, and then we can pull it straight into an ender tank. And I'm just going to leave that as default color for now. We can change that later. So this, once we change this to pull, well, do we want pull? That's the thing. Yeah, I suppose we can loop this back around, actually. Yeah, why don't I loop that back around? Let's get rid of you. Okay. And so we can have this permanently. I'm going to set one end of this. Where's my configurator? Here it is. I'm going to set this to pull everything out. So if I just grab that, will you let me select? Change to push? No. Is that the bottom? Pull. Okay, is that already doing that? No, it is not working. I need to probably remove one of these blocks temporarily. Yep, and configure this here. So let's just get that configured. Pull. There it is. So it's going to pull all of that back out. Put our blank room back in place. And now we basically have a tank. And we can fill the tank by putting it basically back up here. So it is a loop. And that's going to... Oh, there we go. And if I change that around, I think it's gonna try and fill. It's gonna have a black issue with textures because of the shader pack, but otherwise we should be fine. Fine. So now this should basically have a larger capacity. The main problem is going to be is if it still can't fill. Remember when I said when we first built this, there are 3 tanks in the Blood Altar. There's an input tank, an output tank, and the main tank that you see when you look at it like this. If the input tank can't deal with pulling things in fast enough from this, then it's still going to actually outpace anything that we actually do. So first of all, I'm just going to make sure this is all filled. Okay. And I'm probably going to make it a couple more ender tanks that we can move the reserve somewhere else. We're going to want a reserve of blood somewhere that is connected to these so that I can use that. So that is pretty much full. And clearly it's also filled up through the ender tanks themselves. Oh, in fact, no, it hasn't. That should be pulling. Although it may be slow to do so. I need to find out why that's not working. Anyway, it's coming nighttime, so while I investigate that, yeah, that's definitely not working. But it should be, because it should be set to pull at the top. I guess I can just do this at the top and not worry about it. There we go. Why don't I just put it here instead? Okay, and let's put the ender tank down on this side, and then this should loop back. So if I reconfigure that, I need to turn this thing off, but I need to get this all working. Why won't you let me click? That's the wrong wand. That's the configurator. Yeah, you are not. That's not pulling. There we go. That's better. Okay, so after the creepers nearly killed me, I'm just going to want to go and craft these swords, aren't I? Let's go back to the base and craft these swords. Obviously, this is now filled up. I need to finish that off. And there it comes. So I just need to get my wand. And there it goes. So we should be able to craft these swords with this. Shouldn't take us very long. And then I will go... There we go. There's one sword. I'll go and put the rest in, and we'll take them back to be crafted. We're also going to want some stone burnt, which we can find in here. And I've set up everything outside just so I've got this all available. There we go. And that makes us 3 runes of sacrifice. We will also get, I guess, another couple sorted. We need basically 8 of them, but we'll get 9 because of these swords. There it is. And we'll bring that back. Those can replace pretty much all of the 8 in the first row that we have. Okay, I don't need the nighttime anymore, so we can sleep through. And I'll go and set this back up at the blood farm. Now this setup now works. We have a couple of basically extra tanks, but that's not going to be any good just yet because our altar is just too slow. I did try it, just a vain attempt that hopefully it would work, but you can turn this on. It'll feed in blood, but not fast enough to actually keep this going. Let me just make sure this is kept full. Now we have to go from here and get to the next tier of slate. The slate that we need is going to be just going from living rock through the first tier, second tier, and into the third tier called imbued slate. So if we have imbued, the use for this, if I don't keep getting blown up, is that we want, I think it's this one, displacement rune, no, capacity rune. Empty buckets, blank runes, stone burnt, and this makes us 1 rune of capacity. I'm going to want 7 of these, which means I need 7 of these. So I'm going to want to set up another filter and probably delete the previous filter for extraction. This one gets deleted, and then I'm just going to get 1 living rock put through, and then I can add my extra filter. So that can go in, and I'm going to need 7 of these, so I'm going to need 6 more. And I may be able to keep up with the requirements for that as far as crafting them is concerned. But each tier 2 to tier 3 slate will need 5,000 life points, basically. So I'm going to be stood here for a little while crafting these. And I'll bring you back once they're done, because then we can just finish off by replacing about 7 of these with capacity runes. And with that done, I've harvested some of those blank runes from our existing structure. And that should mean I can craft 7 runes of capacity, and hopefully I have calculated right. We'll soon see. This will get us up to 24,000. We need 25,000 for the thormium block, but that should be enough for me to just keep up a little bit with this. And let's get back to our mob farm, get into here, so we can just put these back. Is this in this corner? I think it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what is our capacity of our altar now? It's still set to 10,000. That's not... Oh, it just took a little bit of time to update there a second. That's 24,000, which is exactly what we want. We can fill this up and then get crafting with the thormium block. 24,000. This should start depleting really quite fast. Yeah, off it goes. So I'm just going to keep on going here, and some of this should be fed into that way as well. I should note that adding capacity also makes the inputs and output tanks larger as well. So I think you should be able to actually get more into and out of your blood altar. But you know, there'll be other kind of runes that will actually take care of that as well. But we're not to that just yet. And there we are. There is our 3rd tier blood orb. Yep, the magician blood orb. Good. That's getting better. What do we need for the next tier? Oh, this is gonna be so. Yeah, this is gonna be so terrible. Master blood orb needs weak blood shards. Of course it does. Yes, that's gonna need to be the well. We're pretty much blocked from doing that. Let's put it that way. Okay, so we're up to the 3rd tier of blood orb. That's getting pretty good, and good progress for today, I think. We're gonna need to basically build out this altar to the next tier out as well, and we can do that. I think probably we're gonna be short of the bloodstone. I think for the top, is it bloodstone? Bloodstone, something like that. Yep. And large bloodstone tile or bloodstone break, whichever one it is. That also needs weak blood shards, so we need to go into how to actually get those soon as well. But otherwise, we have a nice working blood altar. We have problems with creepers. If I get rid of those creepers, that would be cool. If anyone knows a way of doing that, that's fine. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty happy with today. We need to fill this up, but otherwise, we're pretty much ready. And yes, I am just going to craft a trash can, as I said before, just from extra utilities. We'll just put that in place over at the mob farm, because I'm pretty much going to get everything I need out of this. I don't think there's anything that pops up in here that I'm actually going to need, probably other than zombie heads. I'm just going to make sure I have a few of those. We're not going to need many, but we are going to need them probably for Ender IO. Other than that, seems to be pretty samey, so why don't we just put down a trash can for now and just get rid of all of this loot. So that can go there. Are you automatically going to try and feed into there? You are. Good. So that should start emptying that buffer chest that we've got. And of course, is there anything in my inventory I want at the moment? Probably want to make sure I don't throw away my blood orbs. That can stay. Everything else is good to go, I think. Yep, zombie heads I'll also keep. Otherwise, all of that can go. And I don't even need the redstone. I've got more than enough of it. Is that emptying this fast enough? It is certainly emptying that pretty fast. So yeah, that's going to be able to keep up just fine. And we'll just take that Enderman head. But other than that, yeah, good to go. All right, so that is an upgrade from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 in one episode. I'm going to carry on probably crafting more of these. It is more beneficial later on to have augmented capacity, which is the next tier up from this. If we have a look what this can make, the augmented capacity. Basically, this is additive. It adds 2,000 every time. However, this one is multiplicative, meaning the more of them you have, if you fill up an entire ring of them, it just gets pretty insane. However, that does need the demonic slate, which needs a tier 4 altar, so we can't go there yet. So that's why we end up with these. However, each one of these you add makes it easier to craft more of them, because the imbued slates take 5,000 life points, and that's pretty hefty even at this point. But as you can see, we've got 7 of them in. That leaves another, what, 13 that we could fill in an entire altar, or in this ring of the altar. And then, of course, we can continue sending this out and down just by constructing an extra ring. It's not worth doing that at this point, for at least if you're following along, because we need to get to the other stuff first that we just mentioned. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We are going to get to more sort of more ender pearls, please. We are going to get to more sort of productive uses of our blood magic setup fairly soon, but we do actually have to get through the various tiers. But this is getting to be quite good. The actual final tier of Blood Altar is tier 6. So if this is a tier 3, you can imagine tier 4 is here, tier 5 is here, tier 6 is going to be out there somewhere, and it gets bigger and bigger. Oh, lots of Endermen. Well, there we go. So you'll be getting more Ender Pearls. And we need them. So I'm going to go and craft another Ender chest off camera. Maybe some more Ender tanks. And then we should be good to link everything together. I think I'm going to be moving to a new base fairly soon. Maybe the next episode, maybe the one after. And much bigger setups and stuff like that. We need full automation to get going pretty much further, I think. At this point in the expert mode pack, you do want to switch to automation and auto crafting. So hopefully you join me for that. If you are liking it, give it a like button below. Otherwise, obviously you can subscribe, share, click on the bell for notifications, and put tips and tricks for your fellow players in the game in the comments down below. Otherwise, as always, guys, thanks for watching.